Oh boy, I was fighting for my life today to get live. All kinds of issues. But I'm here now. Or I'm here in a couple places. Now I'm live everywhere. Good morning, good morning. Oh boy, you would not believe the last 15 minutes, last 30 minutes. Good morning, Bob. How are you? Good to see you, man. We're doing well. I was on the struggle bus a bit today, trying to get here. I woke up on time, but like nothing wanted to work. I had to restart my computer twice. Had to unplug, and replug in all my stuff. It was kind of a nightmare. I'm here though. I'm here. I stuck through it. Yeah, it sounds like that's what I think. It sounds like time for a new PC. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I like that idea a lot. Let's see. Look at my audio levels. Those look okay. Put my mic a little closer. All right, I think we're here. We're here, ready to lock in. We're gonna do some Rust learning today. We're gonna take a break from building that application, and we're gonna do a little bit of structured learning. We'll see how this goes. Because yesterday was kind of frustrating, so I feel like okay, today let's take a step back. Let's put on our formal education hat and try to. Let's see the Rust. I think we were here. Yeah, this is where we were. And then let's open up our turn. Ooh, sorry, big yawn. Big yawn today. Oh, also I should probably. Hello, Born to Shine. Good to see you, man. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. My man is cooking codes. I don't know if I'm cooking codes, but I'm gonna try to get at least 1% better today. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm just gonna focus on trying to get a little better. Just a little better. Not a lot better, just a little better. It's a marathon, not a race, you know? Well, I guess a marathon is a race, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. God willing, I've got 20 more years of this. Sorry, I was going to update I think my members list needs to be updated. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. We're all up to date. And here we go. That makes me think of the Batman movie. Makes me think of Heath Ledger's Joker. Here we go. Hello, Artwork Studios. Wonderful to see you this morning. I hope you are doing well. I seem calm now, but about 5 minutes ago, I was about ready to throw my computer out a window. Then I took a deep breath, and I reminded myself of how grateful I am and how lucky I am to get to do stuff like this. And now I'm centered once more. Alright, we're going to be learning some Rust today. So we're going to use this. This is here, I should probably put this link in the description of the chat. So we're going to use this version of the Rust programming language book, which is basically it's like the other one from the main Rust site, but I guess this one has quizzes and stuff, so it kind of challenges you a little bit more on what you've learned, which is kind of cool. So I'm just gonna put that in the chat. Uh, the Rust programming language, or not the chat, I guess. I'm gonna put it in the description of the video. I don't even know if anybody looks at the description, but let's see. Few things make me angrier than tech used to work great, no longer working as expected. It enrages me. It enrages me for not terribly great reasons, but yeah, like yesterday when I went to bed, all of this shit was just fine. And then I wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning and none of it does what it normally does. Unplug everything, restart the whole computer, plug everything back in. It works again. Fuck you, man. Literally nothing makes me angrier than old tech not working as it used to. I'm glad people can relate to this. I'm glad I'm not the only irrationally angry person. Good morning, Big J's Faith. Hey man, you made it to Friday, dude. End of the week. Let's go. First week back at school. I bet you think you wouldn't make it, but you did. You know? Way to go, dude. Good to see you. Good morning. Alright. Good morning, Duck Boy. How are you? Thanks for being a member. Bob, Big J, thanks for being a member. Appreciate you guys. We're going to be doing a little bit of reading this stream, so hang on to your horse. It's going to be terribly exciting. But we're also going to get to learn some Rust, so it will be awesome. Alright, let's jump into Rust by working through a hands-on project together. This chapter introduces you to a few common Rust concepts by showing you how to use them in a real program. You'll learn about let, match, methods, associated functions, external crates, and more. In the following chapters, we'll explore these ideas in more detail. In this chapter, you'll just practice the fundamentals. We'll implement a classic beginner programming problem, a guessing game. Here's how it works. The program will generate a random integer between 1 and 100, and then it will prompt the player to enter a guess. After a guess is entered, the program will indicate whether the guess is too low or too high. If the guess is correct, the game will print a congratulatory message. Well, that seems like something I can accomplish. I must say I haven't been using my member perks by a bit. That's no worries, man. I just appreciate you being a member. You don't have to use the perks. To be honest, making stuff obsolete is something I just can't understand because, like, yes, it isn't hashed, encrypted, and stuff, but like, come on, it's a wait function. I don't know what you're talking about. Give me some context, Artwork Studios. Big J's Faith, thank you, sir. Yeah, I was doing work with UML and lost like 8 hours of work. That sucks, dude. But I'm glad you made it to the end of the first week, man. Yes, Roblox made the wait function obsolete. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Artwork Studios. This must be something big in your world, but I'm not aware of what you're talking about. But yeah, planned obsolescence, a little frustrating, I would agree. Okay, so we're going to make this game. Let's see, in Roblox Studios, they made the wait function obsolete. We had to use like system.wait or something, I don't know, it's been quite a bit. Oh yeah, that's not cool. But I get it. People gotta make changes. They gotta deprecate things. Good morning, Stu. How goes it? How fares you in life? Hopefully well. I think it's no longer obsolete, but still. Yeah, fair enough. Big J. No, I saved it, but it was a simple spelling error, and I couldn't submit it. So when I went back to fix it, I deleted the whole file. Ah! No! That's frustrating. Hey, what's up? It's Easy Gaming. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's awful, dude. Losing data, data loss events, they're the worst. The absolute worst. You know, there's something we talk a lot about my work about data loss because that's like the worst type of bug is a bug that leads to data loss. But it's interesting because you can actually have data loss in two ways. You can have data loss in the terms of where you actually like lose somebody's data or delete it, you know? But you can also have data loss in the sense that like something doesn't work the way it was supposed to work, and so data that should have been there isn't there, right? So like say you're supposed to create a record on a schedule or something like that, right? Which is kind of weird because it's kind of like you never really think about that case, but yeah, data loss is the worst in any situation, big or small. But because I adjusted it, it only took me a few minutes to redo it. Ah, that's nice. That's about as that's about the best thing you can hope for, you know. Yardle overflow truncation. Uh, I don't know what you mean there, Yardle. Doing fine. Searching for job is tough currently. I don't know. Yeah, searching for a job sucks, man. It always has sucked. It's the fucking worst. And I'm sorry you're going through that, but I hope you have a killer job at the end of it. I think the only good advice I have for you is remain enthusiastic, be persistent, and remember it only takes one person. You just need one person to give you a shot, you know? And so the only way you're going to find that one person is to keep applying, keep showing up for interviews, keep making connections, keep submitting applications. It's a fucking grind, but it's the only way. But the outcome is inevitable. That's the thing. If you grind at this, if you stick to it, the job search only ends one way, right? And it's with you getting a job. So you'll find the person that'll give you the opportunity. Mr. Noob YouTube 27. Well, hello, Noob. You're using Windows? I am using Windows. Yeah, I develop on a Windows machine. Yep. Always I have basically since I started programming, I've been developing on a Windows machine. It's been good. I've kind of come to really enjoy it. A lot of people give me shit for it, but I really enjoy it. It's gaming. Yeah, of course, dude. I'm here rooting for you. I wish there was more I could offer you in terms of helping you with it, but that's all. I mean, that's the only thing I know how to do. So that's all the advice I can give. Uh, you know. Oh, I already did that. All right, let's open this up in NeoVim. Naughty Serenity. What are you doing building? What am I doing? What am I building? I'm not really building anything today. We have been the last couple days working on building a desktop application with Rust. However, yesterday was a little frustrating. So I'm taking a break from that today, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of straight up learning. And so we're gonna work our way through an interactive version of the Rust programming language book, and that's the plan. Right now, I think we're getting ready to build a guessing game, a terminal-based guessing game. I want to code something so bad right now. Go, man, go do it. Go code something. Jock, Advent of Code, Leak Code, or both? I usually only do Advent of Code. I think I have a Leak Code account, but I think I've only solved 2 or 3 problems. I think I've solved more Code of War katas than I have Leak Codes. But I don't really grind that stuff. I'd much rather learn new things or build projects than grind away at leak code problems. Advent of Code's fun every year because of the holidays. If I want to learn to code today from scratch, how should I and what should I start with according to you? So, Mr. Noob, I'm going to give you the generic answer that I give pretty much everybody, which is I tell everybody to go to this website called Free Code Camp, and I'll tag you. Here, I'll send you the link and I'll tag you. What's your name, Noob? Yeah. At Mr. Noob. I send everyone to this link. It's called freecodecamp.org. You can just follow their curriculum, and they'll take you through basically the basics of learning, I think, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, maybe some Python in there. But the nice thing about it is it's really well laid out and structured, and so you'll have a plan of action. You'll know what to do each day, and you'll get really fast feedback on what you're learning. So you'll figure out pretty quickly if you like it or you don't like it. And if you do like it, you'll have a nice onboarding if you use Free Code Camp. That would be my recommendation. Naughty security. Wow, that's cool. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I don't know if it's particularly interesting, but that's what we're doing this morning. It's going to be good times. I don't do leak code. I eat my code, though. I think we all want to eat our code from time to time. For sure. I have hands-on neat code. Thought it was nice work through. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing leak code or like crack.io or any of those sites that have you like grinding away at kind of katas. I don't think there's anything wrong with those. They're just I only have so many hours in the day that I can program on my own stuff, so I kind of have to pick and choose what it is I do. Good morning, Grove Demise. How are you? Good to see you, man. By the way, I already know Mern. Kick ass. Well, there you go. Your Free Code Camp would probably be too basic for you, but that's how I would recommend to start for most people. So Advent of Code is only during the Christmas holidays, or can you do it all year round? You can do it all year. The website's up all year round. The problems from all the past years and even this year are still up, and you can complete them. But I usually only do them during those 24 days of Advent. Purely just because it's kind of like a holiday themed event and it's fun to do, and it's time boxed, so I know like, hey, I'll just get as far as I can in those 24 months, and then I'll be done with it, and I'll move back to building stuff. Ilmanian, hello, good to see you again. How's Twitch? My lone viewer over there on Twitch. Or not necessarily my lone viewer, but my lone chatter. But I appreciate you, man. You're holding it down for the Twitch audience. Appreciate you. Yardle, that's interactive Rust resource used for learning. I've been using Tour of Rust. Is there anything better right now? I don't know if there's anything better. I'm pretty new to the whole Rust experience. I learned Go in November, and then I used it in December for Advent of Code. And then we started building a desktop application in Rust, which has been going pretty well. But yesterday I was kind of frustrated. Like I felt like I was struggling with the syntax quite a bit. So I think I'm going to try to go back to a little bit of the basics before I pick up more of that desktop app. As far as the best resource, I'm probably going to use this programming language book, and then I'm probably going to take a look at something called Rustlings, because a ton of people in dev have said Rustlings is really good. It's like an interactive exercise where you have to fix different pieces of Rust code and both read and write Rust code so you can figure out how to make it work, I guess. So I'll probably try that at some point too. And then of course I'll build that desktop app. The desktop app is like a small notepad replacement. Yeah. It'll be good. You're kind of interesting. You're kind of interesting. Well, thank you, non-DC Serenity. What's your technical background? So I went to school for biochemistry. I was a food scientist for 6 years. I left the food industry, got a job in tech. Basically, everything I know from a technical side when it comes to technology, both like programming, coding, networking, all that stuff is pretty much all self-taught, self-learned. My day job, if you're ever curious about my day job, you can just type !LinkedIn in chat, and you'll get a link to my LinkedIn if you want to go creep on my professional history. Today, my day job today is I work as a quality engineer. So I do automated and manual testing for a web application. So that's what's going on with me today. You mix dev. I'm building a typist-like programming language in C. Interesting. I've never heard of that before moving to Rust. Interesting. That's cool. My area had a din. Hopefully everyone say, what is that? Or is that like a disease or something? I've never heard of that. Mason 101, what you use for Golang? So Golang, I used Tour of Go. So if you go to go.dev/tour, I used that tutorial. And then if you go to learn, if you just Google learn Go with tests, that was the other resource I used to learn Go. Jakub, what's the programming project pace like in the industry? I'm still looking for work like most grads. I wanted to know if I can improve on my project output. Oh, I wouldn't hold yourself to any type of project output. I mean, I would much rather you have one project that you really enjoyed building and is very polished and you deeply understood and had a shit ton of fun building than have like 10, 15 throwaway small toy projects that didn't really mean anything to you. I think projects are about two things. They're about one, you building software for the sake of building software to solve problems that you understand, right, for your own satisfaction and usefulness. And then they can also be used as a way to demonstrate your abilities to employers or clients or people that you might want to work for or do work for. And granted, when you're talking about the second one, the latter one, the more applicable that project is to the company or the area that the people you want to work for is in, right? The more relatable it is, the better. But I don't think there's like some number you need to be putting out every couple weeks. You mixed up. I mean, it's for writing paper. Oh, nice. Very cool. The one true up. Steven, sometimes I feel like you're a producer because I always pop open all three chats and make sure the stream setup is still working. Well, thank you very much for doing that, Bob. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here so regularly that you're able to do that for me. So thank you. Appreciate it. Dude, food and tech are one. I'm the same for real, tech and food. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities in terms of like just product management and product development when you compare like food and tech. But I think that's applicable to a lot of industries, like product development just in general, like how, a product life cycle, how you build it, ideate a new one, develop a new one, maintain a existing, all these things are very similar. The domain and the tools
Welcome to
are,
the party, pal.
hey, Yardle, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. That's so kind of you. That is too kind, sir. I think my keyboard disconnected. Favorite fruit is oranges. Oh, I love oranges. That's what almost every day I eat an orange in the morning before I stream or while I'm streaming, one or the other. Food industry. What's up with ice cream that doesn't melt? They probably put a lot of they probably don't put a lot of softeners in there, if I had to imagine. But I don't know exactly what's up with that. Typist is like latex for scientific papers. Typist is built in Rust. Check its repo, by the way. It's so good. Typist. Okay. Typist. We got a lot of activity in the chat this morning. It's good. Thank you all for being here. Let's see. Typist. Like latex. Or maybe, yeah. This is a modern alternative. Huh. It's interesting. Yeah, I've never used latex. I've never had to do stuff like that. So I haven't really had the need for this type of thing. But that's cool, man. Sounds like a cool project. I chose it just to go deep into compiler software and parsing algorithms. Yeah, I think that's a great project. It's a viral infection spread by mosquitoes. Ooh, yeah, that sounds awful, man. Yeah, hopefully everyone is safe. That sounds absolutely terrible. Did you have add new feature to the app yesterday? Yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday we didn't. I don't think we did anything new. We added a different theme. We added the ability to add themes to the app. That was pretty cool. What else? We did, I don't think we did. We fiddled a lot with testing and just like overall, like how to test the application. Yeah, we fiddled around with a lot of code. But I don't think we added any new functionality. Oh, we added the ability to display cursor position and file path in the app. Yeah, so like, let me see, I can show you. I can demo it. Let me show you. Let's see, we're gonna go to Zoe, I think is how you say that. I came up with this name based on what the internet says you call a baby crab. Let's see, this is basically all the app does right now. It will load a file, save a file, and displays your cursor position and displays your file that you're currently editing. Oh no. Oh, damn it. We were in the middle of supporting saving a file, and so I haven't yet finished it. So it's broken right now. Never mind. It's broken right now, but it won't be broken forever. But yeah, we added some stuff, but we didn't really work on too much. Fixatives, right? Xanthan gum. Yep, xanthan gum is one for sure. I eat like 5 oranges in the morning. Man, I love oranges. They're great. Don't forget to add Easter eggs, by the way. Okay, we can try to find some ways to add Easter eggs. I don't know what those Easter eggs would be, but we can find a way to do it. Does cursor position in Windows work like Linux, a file where XY is written as bytes into it? I honestly don't know, you mixed dev. I just know that in the Rust library that I'm using, there's a widget called a text editor. That widget exposes a cursor property which returns a position of line and character, which is basically whatever line number you're on and then whatever character of that line you're on. My favorite fruit is watermelon. Yeah, watermelon is pretty good, but not as good as oranges. What's your standard out video series about? Okay, so my standard out video series, you're the first person to ask me about it. It's just an experiment that I've been running the last, let's see, 3 days, 2 days. I think I've posted two videos. I've got a third one that's going up. Basically, it's just a way for me to document the way I build software and the way I work in a basic. You can think of it like it's like a offline live stream. So it has very much the same feel as my lives do, but instead of having a conversation with like 5 different people while also trying to like work on stuff or learn stuff, it's me having a conversation with the camera, which is basically my rubber duck, while I work on something, right? So the live streams used to be a lot more productive, and then and then I started actually having people that would show up and hang out in lives, and so I had people to actually talk to. So then the productivity kind of went down. And so I wanted to have the opportunity to actually like document myself building actual working tools and software without having to also hold like 4 or 5 conversations, right? So that's what it is. And it's, to me, it's the most valuable piece of content that I can put into the world at this point in time. So that's why I put it behind a paywall. It's like the most intimate version of content that I can make. So I figure if people want to see it, then I'm gonna charge for it. And if people don't want to pay for it, that's fine. It'll just serve as like a running development journal, essentially. What was the first game you played on stream? I haven't really played many games on stream. I think most of the games I've played on stream have been Call of Duty. Add the Konami code and have it summon a PNG of a character you like. Have it shifts colors and you can click and drag around it like a sticker. Huh. That's interesting. Never heard of it, though. I've missed that standard out series. YouTube hasn't been suggesting them. Lame. YouTube, lame. You check out Warframe trailer yet? No, I have not checked out Warframe. I know you've told me I need to go play it, but I haven't tried it. Jakuba, I dig it. Sounds really interesting. Yeah, it's so far I've had a lot of fun making the videos because it's literally just me talking to the camera for an hour, and I use the camera as like my rubber duck, and I'm building a piece of software at the same time. I time box it to an hour, so I just basically set the timer for an hour. I try to get as much stuff as I can in that hour, and then pick it up the next day. Adding a stickers thing would actually be pretty cool if it's a notebook app. It's more like a notepad app, not really a notebook, notepad. It's supposed to replace the standard notepad app that's on Windows. Rolling a joiny, starting up once. Nice. Well, it sounds like you're in for a good day, Rampla. Oh, COD is nice. Yeah, I like Call of Duty. Are you using Crate IDE World? No, I'm using NeoVim. But I don't know what IDE World is. Not gonna lie, I saw AOT and thought it was the anime. That's hilarious. No, AOT in that context means ahead of time compilation. Warframe is so fun, kinds. I stopped playing it because I got bored fast. Huh. You got bored with a game that's so fun? Drecker, using LazyVim? I use Lazy as my package manager. Steven, how was Learn Go with Test like? Learn Go with Test was great. Yeah, I want to make a version of it for C#. That's one of my 2026 projects that I'd like to do. Since the new update, it changed a lot. Well, that's good, right? Updates are good, keeping it fresh. Too many games don't do that. They don't keep things fresh, and then players get bored, and then players move on. AOT is peak anime, though. Well, yeah, I don't know what AOT is in the anime world, but I can tell you what AOT is in the .NET world. I mean, personally, I get bored of game pretty fast, but it's fun. I have the attention span of a baby rabbit. Well, that makes it hard, dude. That makes life hard. That makes it very, very hard. You got to have an attention span, you know? Excuse me. That's a big guy. Alright, we'll do cargo run. Now we need to process a guess. Oh, Attack on Titan, one of the only animes I've watched. Great show. I've heard Attack on Titan. I've heard of Attack on Titan. I've also heard of, which I've never heard anybody abbreviate it as AOT, but I've heard of Attack on Titan. And the other one that's been recommended to me a lot has been My Hero Academia. I don't know if people have strong feelings about that, but I've had that one recommended to me a lot. I still have yet to go and try one of these games. Or no, not one of these games. One of these shows. I've still yet to go and watch one of these shows, but I've heard good things. Damn, stupid. Well, I only know My Hero Academia because people have told me I need to go watch it. You know, like I don't know anything about it other than it's anime and people like it. What are you gonna add today? Ilmania, we're not adding anything today. Ilmania, we're going to do some learning today. We're gonna just kind of go back to basics a little bit on the Rust language. I wouldn't watch it as your first though. It would raise your standard too high for other animes. That's funny. So it's kind of like flying first class, is what you're telling me. Once you fly first class, it forever ruins flying coach. Well, Steven, I hope you have an amazing morning. I'm gonna go back to napping. Well, you nap away, man. I'm gonna be here at my desk trying to learn some Rust stuff. But you have a good day, sir. Alright, this code contains a lot of information, so let's go over it line by line. To obtain user input, then print the result as an output, we need to bring the IO input-output library into scope. The IO library comes from the standard library known as standard, or STD. Use std : IO. By default, Rust has a set of items defined in the standard library that it brings into the scope of every program. This set is called the prelude, and you can see everything in it in the standard library documentation. If a type you want isn't in the prelude, you have to bring that type into scope explicitly with a use statement. Using stdio library provides you with a number of useful features, including the ability to accept user input. Nice. Nice. Hey, what's up, Ben John? Good to see you. I'm doing well, sir. Life is good here. I hope life is good for you as well. The plot will be hard to follow. I found the plot to be complex but generally easy to follow thanks to peak story writing. Interesting, man. People really appreciate anime stuff. Dang, that's true. RE first class. I used to fly so much for work, I got upgraded and it ruined me. Yeah, all experiences like that are like that. Like, I went to the company I work for, the owners, they had tickets to the Kansas City Royals, which is a baseball team here in the United States. And their tickets were like in the Diamond Club, which is basically it's a nice air conditioned, like really nice box that sits right behind home plate at the stadium. And I'd been to Royals games before, but we went to a Royals game and got to sit in that Diamond Club. And now I don't ever want to go to a baseball game any other way. So it's a real issue. What do they call that? Hedonic adaptation. Yeah, that's what that is. Rust be looking suspiciously C++ like. Well, I don't know C++, but I'll take your word for it. Ilmani and learning C++ for like a day look like nonsense. I've never written any C++ myself. Once you've had a taste of that life, you can't, man. You can't. You get all bougie and spoiled, and you don't want to do it any other way. Alright. Also, you learned in chapter 1, print line is a macro that prints a string to the screen. This code is printing a prompt stating what the game is and requesting input from the user. Storing values with variables. Next, we'll create a variable to store the user input like this. Now, the program is getting interesting. There's a lot going on in this little line. We use the let statement to create the variable. Here's another example. Let apples equals 5. This line creates a new variable named apples, binds it to the value 5. In Rust, variables are immutable by default, meaning once we give the variable a value, I love this immutable by default. I think this is one of the best parts of Rust. We'll be discussing this concept in detail in the variables and mutability section in chapter 3. To make a variable mutable, we add mut before the variable name. Yep. On the right of the new equals the value the guess is bound to, which is the result of calling string new. The colon syntax in the new line indicates that new is an associated function of the string type. An associated function is a function that's implemented on a type, in this case string. The new function creates a new empty string. You'll find a new function on many types because it's a common name for a function that makes a new value of some kind. So this is kind of like Rust. This is kind of like a constructor in Rust. How's it going, mate? Learning Rust? Hey, what's up, Cyberlunka? Yeah, we're learning Rust. Good to see you, man. We've been building a little bit with Rust, but today I'm taking a break from doing some building and I'm going to actually do some learning. So maybe that will make the building a little easier, a little less frustrating. My school's taught Python instead of C++. Now I feel like I need to spend another year or two learning C++, which kind of feels like wasted Python time. I don't know. I think it all depends. It all depends on what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to accomplish, I think. Python has its place. The ML stuff is the interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to like what you need to learn and what you need to spend time on. I just think it depends on what your objectives are. There's a free book called Rust using linked lists. Highly recommend if you want to skip the noise and get dirty. Well, we kind of tried to jump in with both feet by building a desktop app. I mean, and I should be totally honest. I false started on learning Rust at least once. So I do have like familiarity, but I'm trying to make a concerted effort to really learn it this time around. So that's why we're kind of jumping in to building stuff, but we're also trying to take time to get up to speed with the syntax. I just found myself frustrated yesterday, and I wanted to take a break from that feeling of frustration. Hey Steven, can you also stream the key press as well, especially when you are in NeoVim? This can help to see what key combination you are using. I am heavily learning Vim bindings in NeoVim. I think I can. Hold on one sec. I think I can do that. One sec. I have an application called crap. If you hadn't asked me to do that, Ben, I'd remember what I think it's called Karnak. Yeah, Karnak. Let me see if it works. Yeah. But that's not really probably the best spot for it. I guess let's put it. No, that actually probably is the best spot for it since I'm vertical. Let's see, top offset. Let's do 30. I don't know if you'll learn. I don't know if you'll learn a terrible lot from me. I'm not particularly gifted at Oh, now it's on the other monitor. There we go. I don't know if that's helpful at all. Kind of gets in the way of everything. Let's see. Let's make it 200. It's probably easier to read. I don't know. I don't know how helpful this is. I'll keep it on for a little bit, Ben John. Just let me know if you don't find that helpful. Just tell me and I'll turn it off. Man, I need to get better at writing tests. I was putting blocks of code and building tests of those rather than doing it the smart way. Yeah, tests are always one of those things that you really regret. You really regret not having them. Yeah, you always regret not writing them. Also got the practical Vim book all the way. Nice, very cool. Steve, I'm going into your second year of high school. How was high school like for you? High school was fine. I mean, I had a lot of fun playing football in high school. Didn't really have like a ton of fun socially in high school. That just, I don't know, wasn't really my thing. I had lots of friends. I met my wife when I was in high school. Yeah, high school was fine. I would never want to go back. Life as an adult is orders of magnitude better than life as a high schooler. But enjoy it and appreciate it while you're there. Good to see you. I love Lamp. Hello. Sorry you're sick today. Hope you get to feeling better. Isn't there an interactive game to learn Vim keystrokes? Yeah, I posted a short about it. It's called Vim Adventures. It's pretty fun. Primogen coding. The Primogen is a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists is good to visit once you bumping up against all the different smart pointer types. Ooh, smart pointers. There's not just pointers in Rust, there's smart pointers. Woo! Boy. But pointers are different. Like pointers are even different than references, right? In Rust, right? There's references, and then there's pointers, and then smart pointers is a new one I hadn't heard of. You're living the life, high school sweetheart as your wife. You two were meant for each other. I guess if you want to look at it that way. Yeah, for sure. I was very lucky to find my wife early on. I think the later in life you get, the harder it is to kind of find that partner. Everybody, as you get older, we all kind of build up scars and baggage that goes into every relationship. Streaming like the Primogen seems exhausting. It seems like he's focusing himself to constantly talk, read, type as fast as possible, maximizing the actions per minute. Well, I can't imagine what it's like to be the Primogen during a stream. I mean, or like Tim the Tap Man. I mean, these guys have literal thousands of people watching them, hundreds of people in their chat. Like, it must be incredibly overwhelming to figure out how to balance being entertaining, but also like I don't even know. I wouldn't want it. I mean, it's I don't know if I'd want that. It seems really, really stressful. I suppose that's what's necessary to entertain millions of viewers. I don't know if that's what's necessary. I mean, Tim the Tapman just plays video games and doesn't really interact a terrible ton with his chat. I mean, he will, like, he'll sit and talk for like an hour before he starts playing games, but it I think you just kind of you have to realize that it's not a human being is not meant to talk to 1,000 people simultaneously, right? So you can't you just can't place super high expectations on yourself. I honestly think the Primogen streams are a lot of fun, but I agree with Bob. It seems like that would be very exhausting. See Bob ampersand mutt box RC arc and more. Dude, this rabbit hole seems deep. I don't know how much time I'm gonna give this Rust rabbit hole because I don't want to be a Rust developer, but I'd like to know the general basics, you know. But I don't plan on using it every day. Yeah, no romance. I think that's very normal for a school. When big YouTubers say stream has like 20 people in stream, Steven probably thinks that's a lot. Dude, 10 people. I mean, just think about that. Like, think about a room filled with 10 people and you're giving a presentation. I mean, that's a lot of people. 20 people. Now think 100, 1,000. I mean, that's nuts. Think of a room of 1,000 people and you're trying to have a conversation and present. It's unbelievable. It's not normal. Yarlo, you prefer Go? Not necessarily prefer Go. I like Go. I mean, I just prefer C Sharp and TypeScript. Those are the languages I really like to work with. Um, but yeah, the Go thing was a lot of fun. I don't know how often I'll use Go though. That's the thing is like I'm learning these languages, but if I'm given a choice of what technologies to use, I'm probably going to use C Sharp and TypeScript, even if I know Go and Rust. And so that's where it's like I don't want to give this stuff too much time. I want to give it enough time to where if I wanted to build something with these languages, I could. Being able to go at least read Rust will be valuable because more and more projects are written in it. Yeah, exactly. Then I think that's where I want to get to. I just want to have an understanding, and that'll be enough. Yeah, if I gave a speech to all my subscribers, it's scary because I will need to talk to 142 people. Yeah, 142 people. That's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people. I think the internet makes the numbers feel very abstract. But if you make it concrete, right? If you think of it in terms of like the real world, I mean, 30 folks, 30 people's a lot of people's. My legs go weak when talking to a room of 20. Yeah, public speaking is hard, dude. Public speaking is really hard. But the more you do it, the less of a shell shock it becomes, you know? The more you that's with anything. It just takes lots and lots of reps. Let's see, if we hadn't imported the IO module with use standard IO at the beginning of the program, we could still use the function by calling this function call as standard IO standard in. The standard in function returns an instance of standard IO standard in, which is a type that represents a handle to the standard input for your terminal. Next, the read line calls the read line method on the standard input to get the input from the user. We're also passing &mut guess as the argument to read line to tell it what string to store the user input in. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. This is like, yeah, you're like passing in a reference and saying, hey, fill up this reference with some data. Although I don't know if I care for that type. Like I'd much rather pass something. I'd much rather this hand me back something. Right? It just seems more more my style. I demonstrated in uni to lecture rooms of people at my time in uni, so I'm fairly comfortable with an audience in the tens or hundreds. The real challenge is keeping everyone's attention. That I heard Mark Rober talking in a podcast the other day. He was saying that like he feels like he's such a good scientific communicator because on YouTube you actually have to fight for people's attention, whereas like if you're a lecturer or professor, people just have to give you their attention, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's like what if professors were held accountable, for maintaining a viewership count, right? Like what if that was the metric by which professors were graded? I bet their lectures would be a lot more interesting. There's like some in the lecture room, there's some big counter that counts the number of people that come in and out of the room. Hear this out. What if Mark Rober is our professor? Dude, if Mark Rober was a professor, that would be fucking killer. I love Mark Rober. He's the man. He's the man. He's a real deal. Anyway. See, the ampersand indicates that this argument is a reference, which gives you a way to let multiple parts of your code access one piece of data without needing to copy that data into memory multiple times. References are a complex feature, and one of Rust's major advantages is how safe and easy it is to use references. You don't need to know a lot of those details to finish this program. For now, all you need to know is that like variables, references are immutable by default. Hence, you need to write ampersand mute guess rather than ampersand guess to make it mutable. Handling potential failure with result. We're still working on this line of code. We're now discussing a third line. This is the line of text that I hadn't seen before, expect. The next part is this method, expect, failed to read line. We could have written this code as read line something, expect, failed to read line. However, one long line is difficult to read, so it's best to divide it. It's often wise to introduce a new line Yeah, okay, I know about that. As mentioned earlier, readline puts whatever the user enters into the string we pass to it, but it also returns a result value. Result is an enumeration, often called an enum, which is a type that can be in one of the multiple possible states. We call each possible state a variant. Result variants are OK and error. The OK variant indicates the operation was successful and contains the successfully generated value. The error variant means the operation failed and it contains information about how or why the operation failed. Nice. Let's see. An instance of result has an expect method that you can call. If this instance of result is an error value, expect will cause the program to crash and display the message that you. So this is like an assertion almost, right? That's basically what this is. So you're asserting that there shouldn't be an error essentially by calling that. Well, I'm glad I know about this value because this could come in handy. Not having to handle cases that you don't ever expect to have to deal with. And then we print the values. Aside from the closing curly brackets, there are only one more line to discuss the code so far. You guess, guess. This line prints the string that now contains the user's input. The curly brackets set of curly brackets is a placeholder. Oh, okay, that's cool. So this will actually print guess just because I put curly brackets around it. Cool. Let's try this. Let's try our game that we built. I like teachers that let us do stuff, experiment and such. I hate teachers who just say, memorize this, this, and lastly, this, okay, bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, I think memorization is just in today's world, it's kind of a waste, right? You're going to be able, I mean, you're definitely going to have information that you're able to recall easily because you use it so often or it's so simplistic or it's so universal that you can call it forward all the time. But a lot of information is just so obscure and it's so niche and you only need it when you need it that you don't really need to memorize it, in my opinion. I don't know about the US, but in the UK, some unis allow for students to go in and out of lectures. At the end of the day, it's your money you're wasting. 100%. The university system here in the US is similar, I would say. I mean, you're definitely not forced to stay in your lecture, but like professors can like basically lock the door. Like if if at 8 o'clock, right, they like don't want to let people in. I don't think they have to let people in. I'm sure you could get into some trouble like by locking people into your classroom too, though. So there's probably there's probably some double-edged swords. I think most professors' attitudes are, come if you want, don't come if you want. Who cares? I get paid either way. What's the package you're using to see viewer count in your terminal? Oh, that's something I built myself. It's just a small little script that Oh My Posh runs so it caches the result for 30 seconds, but it runs a small script, fetches the viewer count from whatever live streams are live on my YouTube channel, adds them together, and then sticks them into my path. Hey, what's up, Max Dev Mastery? How goes it? How's Twitch? You're my single Twitch chatter. You're holding it down for us. Yeah, like E equals MC to the M equals MC squared. But how do I apply it? Yeah, I don't know. Everyone knows that equation, but I think few people could probably tell you how to use it. Seems much more like a theoretical physics thing. Or if you're doing engineering, like actual engineering, it might be helpful. That max said mastery, LOL. People will come with time. Yeah, I don't know. Twitch is weird. Twitch is a weird platform. It really doesn't have much organic reach or discovery, and YouTube really doesn't either anymore, unless you're in the shorts feed. Like vertical or horizontal long form videos, they go to die on YouTube. Like you, I can post a really. I think I just disconnected from YouTube at least, but we're back. I think we're back. Yeah, long form video on YouTube's dead now, I think. And organic reach on Twitch seems dead. I'm not sure how people build Twitch channels from the ground up anymore. It seems like you have to go get the audience in other places and bring it back to you on Twitch. At least YouTube has some discovery mechanism with the shorts feed. I think I have to restart StreamerBot because we disconnected. 1 second. Man, we had a really good sorry, not speaker, StreamerBot. We had a really good run of not having internet problems for like a good couple months there. And now lately my internet troubles are back. There we go. I think we're connecting. The concept of office politics is an example. We live in a society where giving and honesty is not rewarded as much as lies and deception. Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I would vouch for that. I don't know if it's that they're not rewarded as much. I just think for whatever reason, lies and deception are far more interesting to human beings than giving and honesty. I don't know why. It's just human beings. We like the drama. We love it. Yeah, we love it. All right, I should probably input a guess here. I'm gonna do my favorite number, 7. You guess 7. I guess it's hearing what you want to hear. So lies should fit the expectations. Yeah, that's fair. Duck Boy, probably to each their own. I found some really nice long form YouTube vids saved for later. Now I got over 2,600 videos to watch. That's awesome, Duck Boy. Well, I guess what I mean, Duck Boy, is I'm kind of speaking more from like a creator perspective. Like if you start a YouTube channel net new today, you're far more likely to gain an audience if you're posting vertical form video or streaming vertical form than you are doing horizontal form. Which is I think that's a very clearly like an algorithmic thing that YouTube is doing to compete with these other vertical form videos. Try putting a char, see if it breaks it. Let's do cargo run. Hello, Mark. How goes it, sir? Says you guessed A. I think it works because I'm using a string. Which is probably just under the hood, right? It's probably just a list or something of characters. Cargo, are we doing Rust? Cool. Yeah, we're learning Rust. We were building an application with Rust, but I decided today to take a break from building, and I'm just going to do some learning. Duckboy off for streams, that's understandable. Yeah, streams, but I also think long form video is that way. Like I just think if you're, let's say you start a brand new YouTube channel today, I think you will have a really hard time growing that channel only posting long form video. Long form horizontal video I think will be very hard to grow a channel. Like you're kind of fighting uphill. You're fighting an uphill battle at that point. All right, let's generate a secret number. Next, we need to generate a secret number that the user will try to guess. The secret number should be different every time, so the game is fun to play more than once. We'll use a random number between 1 and 100, so the game isn't too difficult. Rust doesn't yet include random number functionality in its standard library. However, the Rust team does provide a rand crate with said functionality. Using a crate to get more functionality. Remember that a crate is a collection of Rust source code files. The project we've been building is a binary crate, which is an executable. The rand crate is a library crate, which contains code that is intended to be used in other programs and can't be executed on its own. Cargo's coordination of external crates is where Cargo really shines. Before we can write code that uses rand, we need to modify the cargo.toml file to include the rand crate as a dependency. Open that file. Now add the following line to the bottom beneath the dependency section. Be sure to specify rand in exactly as we have here with this version number, or the code examples in this tutorial may not work. Okay, we can do this. I know how to do that. Cargo toml. Another day still doing the vibe coding test. LOL, it's getting worse now that I'm trying to get it to refine the project. The good thing is I can prompt it and let it run while I work my day job. Nice. That's actually a really good that's actually like a really good positive what is it called? That's like a really good selling point for vibe coding, or at least agentic development. It's like, oh, you want to build software, but you're limited on time and you have a day job. That's totally cool. Sign up for Anti-Gravity or Cursor or Copilot or Claude Code, right? And while you're working, you can have a terminal running that's building that SaaS or that software that you want to make. That's actually a really good selling point. I could totally see that being something. If you wanted to start a business, you wanted it to be a software company, that's a badass. Mark, I'm really tired. I waste 2 hours because my tests keep on failing on GitHub. I managed to resolve that by checking the files which caused it, and the problem was the file's name. I didn't know that Windows were bad at saving file names. Yeah, the thing that I've always ran into with Git in file naming is case sensitivity of file names, where sometimes I'll have a file name that needs to be, say, uppercase, but I was an idiot and I added it as a lowercase, and then changing the file name doesn't necessarily trigger. You have to do some Git magic, right, to remove the capitalized file name and replace it with the lowercase file name. Otherwise, you don't ever get like an actual updated version of the file in your Git repo. I've run into issues with that before. Yeah, Git move something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've run into issues with that before, and that's caused me heartache on CI/CD stuff. It's always a pain. It's always a pain when something works locally and doesn't work in CI/CD, because then you're in this headless environment and you're trying to figure out, okay, what logging or what things do I add to print, debug, and figure this out. Yeah, no fun at all. But that's the part of software. That's the part of building software people don't present online, though, right? When you follow developer tutorials or developer content, it's always this highly polished version of like, I have everything figured out. I know all the answers up front. I never waste any time. I always make the right keystrokes. That's why that's why I wanted to start a series where I basically just turn the camera on and let it run while I develop for an hour, and I just leave it all in there. The frustration, the inefficiency, the banging your head against a new API for an hour to figure out nothing, like all of that is a part of the experience. It's not very few days of building something. It's just you sitting down for 8 hours in pure flow, right? That's just not the way it works. The big problem with people vibe coding apps / I always think, if you can vibe code it, so can I. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a cool that it enables people though. You know, it's cool that it enables people to at least open their minds up to the idea that they might be able to build something. But yeah, you for sure for sure there's definitely some. Well, if you can do it, I can do it too. All right, now we'll do cargo build. Wonderful, we added rand. You may see different version numbers and different lines, and the lines may be in a different order. What we include when we include an external dependency, cargo fetches the latest versions of everything that dependency needs from the registry, which is a copy of data from crates.io. Crates.io is where people in the Rust ecosystem post their open source Rust projects for others to use. Very cool. So we've got the rand now. If you open source main.rs, make a trivial change, then save it and build again, you'll see 2 lines of output. Okay. We'll just change it to rad. We'll do cargo build. Perfect. These lines show that cargo only updates the build with your tiny change to the source main.rs file. Your dependencies haven't changed, so cargo knows it can reuse what it already has downloaded and compiled for those. Ensuring reproducible builds with the cargo.lock file. Cargo has a mechanism that ensures you can rebuild the same artifact every time you or anyone else builds your code. Cargo will use only the versions of the dependencies you specified until you indicate otherwise. For example, say that next week version 0.8.6 of the rand crate comes out. That version contains an important bug fix, but it also contains a regression that will break your code. To handle this, Rust creates the cargo.lock file the first time you run cargo build. So we now have this in the guessing game directory. Wonderful. This lets you have a reproducible build automatically. In other words, your project will remain at 0.8.5 until you explicitly upgrade. Awesome. Wonderful. Updating a crate to get a new version. When you do want to update a crate, Cargo provides the command update, which will ignore the cargo.lock file and figure out all the latest versions that fit your specifications in Cargo TOML. Cargo will then write those versions of the cargo lock file. In this case, Cargo will only look for versions greater than 0.85 and less than 9.0. If the rand crate has released 2 new versions, you should see the following if you run cargo update. Okay. A lot about cargo here. Let's generate a random number. Here we go. Let's start using rand to generate a number to guess. The next step is to update source main.rs as shown in listing 2.3. So we have guess number. We're going to do let secret number equals rand thread rng gen range 1. Ooh, that's some syntax right there. Did I not spell that right? Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to turn that off. That's I can't do that. I'm sorry. Who was it that asked for that? Somebody asked for me to put the keys on there. There's just not enough screen real estate for me to have the keys showing. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can make it so that just a single key shows up or something. I don't think I could do that. If I was on a bigger screen, I would put it. I would use it, but it's just too. It's too small. So I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna get rid of it. All right. Why doesn't this work? Oh, maybe I need to restart the analyzer. Rust. Man, love it. I relate to many things you say. This was my first job as a web dev, so I'm having mixed emotions. Yeah, I bet so. I bet so, man. Of course, vibe coding is definitely not for making robust, maintainable software. Yeah, but to Thunderdeer, to your point, if you could get the at least the foundations of the functionality you wanted built while you're at work, and then you could refine it or turn it into uh, turn it into maintainable production ready software, right? That still saves you time, assuming the LLM produces something that's usable, right? But I more mean it's interesting for folks who are limited on time. You know, folks who don't really have 4 or 5 hours a day to work on a project, but they do have an hour, right? Something like an AI agent could kind of be a nice force multiplier. Ryan just walked outside. It's 70 degrees in the middle of winter at 6:45 in the morning. That's wild. That's wild, and I'm jealous because it's been rainy. It's been rainy the last day here. Keys.invim, and it's cross-platform. Use rand, not use RND. Okay. Rand. There we go. I think the Rust analyzer wasn't picking up on the fact that I had rand. But I'm only getting thread local, not thread RNG. Oh, whoops, hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's working. It's working. Never mind. It's working. I'm sorry. There we go. Let's see. The print line. The secret number is secret number. Why doesn't that work? There we go. We actually use rand : RNG brings in the RNG trait, which implements the methods on the other stuff. Ah, nice. Okay. We got like a foot of snow the last few days. Ooh, I would be in for some snow. We had a huge rain yesterday. If it had been colder, we would have got massive snow, but it wasn't cold. It was like 60 degrees yesterday. Ooh, yeah, B-top. Yeah, B-top is good. What keys you're using? It sounds great. You mean like my mechanical keyboard? Is that what you're asking, Mark? Hello, Azure. How are you? Good to see you. Yes. So I don't know what keys they are. This was a pre-built keyboard I got on Amazon. It's called this is the keyboard. It's called a Yunzi B75 Pro is the model, but I don't know what keys it uses. But I've really been happy with it. It does sound nice, and it feels nice. Yunzi B75 Pro. It was like $60. It wasn't too expensive. Bob mentioned something a couple messages back. He mentioned something called keys.invim. And I want to see what that's about. What we making today? Nothing today. We're learning today, man. We be learning today. A NeoVim plugin that shows keystrokes kind of like screen keys, but inside NeoVim. Ooh, this looks cool. It says it does contain bugs. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's see if it works. Edit in Vim config. It's kind of an unusual behavior of Rust. You don't automatically always get all the methods on a type. Sometimes you have to import a trait even though you never use it directly in your code. Oh, that is interesting. That's good to be aware of. I'm learning all kinds of things about Rust. I wonder, do I have to do, I probably have to do like config function and then do require keys. And then what was the, all right, let's see if this works. Hey, that's kind of nice. Okay. Although it's at the bottom, but what you gonna do? Oh, now what? Hold on. It put the dashboard in that little tiny window. That's hilarious. Okay, hold on. Let me. That's funny. All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Whoever built that, that's very cool. All right, so we got code for generating a random number. Bob, missed your live. Hi, good evening. Yesterday I missed your live. No worries, dude. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Yeah, or I guess it's evening for you, but it's morning for me. But yeah, glad to have you here, man. No worries at all. I don't ever take it personally if you guys miss a live. You know, like you guys are real human beings, or I hope you're real human beings, and I hope your real lives are far more interesting than your digital ones. So, if if you ever miss a live stream, I'm more than happy for you. I hope you had something cooler going on. I'm gonna work on an old game. Oh, sorry, Artworks News. I saw you asked me if I could. Oh yeah, there's the schedule. Bob just posted the schedule for you there, Max Dev. Thank you, Bob. That's very kind of you. Yeah, that's my normal schedule. 5:15 a.m. to 7 a.m. most mornings. Central Standard Time. Artwork Shoes, I don't know what kind of game you should build. I do not have any ideas for you. Okay, now we need to compare the guess to the secret number. Now that we have user input, a random number, we can compare them. That step shown in the listing 2.4. Note that in this code won't compile just yet, as we will explain. Okay. So we are going to add a new thing here that's called match guess. Let's see, we'll do and secret number ordering He said this won't compile. Why won't this compile? Failed to resolve use of undeclared type. Inline variable. Mismatch type. Expected reference string found into. Okay, I guess this is what they're going to talk about in the book. Steven, waffles or pancakes? Waffles. I mean, I like pancakes, but if you're giving me the option, waffles for sure, hands down. Ryan, beep, boop, boop, bop. Oh no, Ryan became a robot. Holy shit, Ryan's a robot now. Build something like logs to CSV file. We are using Python to dot this kind of task, but I am planning to build with Rust soon. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea for a project. I mean, we filtered the required data from the logs. Is it okay or fine with Python? I'm sure it's fine with Python, but I mean, I'm guessing if you need like crazy amounts of performance, right? Or you need to be able to process like billions of rows from a CSV, maybe you'd want to look at something like Rust, but I'm sure you can get plenty fine with Python, you know? I think most use cases these days don't demand incredible feats of performance. Hello, Roberto. Keep up with the good content. Well, Roberto, that's so kind. Thank you so much for stopping to say that. I really appreciate it when people stop by lives or leave comments like that are super encouraging. It means a lot, man. Thank you so much. Bob, I feel like I have been aimless since I finished AOC 2025, SynCore, and AOC 2015 last month. I told myself I'd start job hunting this week, but I've been avoiding it. Well, I guess it depends on how badly you need the job, Bob. If you don't need the job that bad, you can procrastinate on that one as much as you want. If it was me, I would really need the job, you know? I'd really, really need it. So I'm a little jealous that you've been able to be pretty lax about it, because I'd be like running around with them, with my hair on fire trying to get another job. Azray, I need a suggestion. Our Excel file we use as a tracker is too heavy. Any idea we can work up a tool? Excel's just hard to replace. Yeah, Excel is very hard to replace because Excel, everybody understands Excel. Everybody knows how to use Excel, and Excel can do quite a bit. You can get away with most things managed in an Excel spreadsheet. Like, yeah, that's a very real thing. I don't really have any suggestions for you. I don't know what you're putting in this tracker of yours, so I don't really have any ideas about how you can replace it. And then it's a matter of like, is it worth the effort to replace it? It might not be worth the effort to replace it. Hello, MR Group Online. Good to see you, man. How's Brazil? Making smooth animations for my game. That's a first. Nice, dude. Come back to the work. Yeah. I'm trying to balance learning and chatting. Yesterday was a frustrating stream for me, so today we're having a little bit more of a low-key chill day. Hey Danny, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're doing okay, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, great, man. Very hot. Ooh, it's not hot here, so I'm not envious of you. I do not want hot weather. I wonder, does secret number need to be cloned or own string? It needs to be something. I'm guessing that's what they're going to talk about in the next section of this book. All right, so first we add another use statement, bringing a type called ordering into scope. Wonderful. Then we add 5 new lines at the bottom that use the ordering type. The CMP method compares two values and can be called on anything that can be compared. It takes a reference to whatever you want to compare with. Here's its comparing guess to secret number. Then it returns a variant of the ordering enum we brought into scope with the use statement. We use a match expression to decide what to do next based on which variant of ordering was returned from the call. A match expression is made up of arms. An arm consists of a pattern to match against, and the code that should be run if the value given to match fits that arm's pattern. Wonderful. They let you express a variety of situations your code might encounter, and they make sure you handle them all. These features will be covered in detail, Chapter 6 and Chapter 19. Let's walk through an example with the match expression we use here. Say that the user has guessed 50 and randomly generates secret this time is 38. Okay, nice. However, code in listing 24 won't compile yet. Let's try. Yep, so that's the error we're getting right here. It's the same error as over here. Or I guess over here. The core of the error states that there are mismatched types. Rust has a strong static type system, however, it also has type inference. When we wrote let mut guess equals string new, Rust was able to infer that guess should be a string, and didn't make us write the type. The secret number, on the other hand, is a number type. Unless you add types information elsewhere, that would cause Rust to infer a different numerical type. So it always defaults to int 32. The reason for the error is that Rust cannot compare a string and a number type. Ultimately, we want to convert the string the program reads as input into a number type, so we can compare it numerically to a secret number. We can do so by adding this line to the main function. So we want to say let guess equals an unsigned 32-bit. We say guess trim dot parse, and we expect that it will succeed like this. So this is kind of interesting. It's like we shadowed the variable, right? So we have a mutable guess up here, and then we have another guess down here. But wait, doesn't the program already have a variable named guess? It does, but helpfully Rust allows us to shadow the previous value of guess with a new one. Shadowing lets us reuse the guess variable name rather than forcing us to create two unique variables, such as guess stir and guess, for example. I think that's helpful. I think shadowing is helpful from a naming convention, but I also think that could be really confusing. Like if you're not paying attention while you're reading code, I think that'd be really easy to gloss over the fact that like on line 5 it was a string, and now on line 10 it's now a number, but it's the same name. The parse method on strings converts a string to another type. Here we use it to convert from a string to a number. We need to tell Rust the exact number type we want by using guess u32. The colon after guess tells Rust will annotate the variable's type. Rust has a few built-in number types. The u32 seen here is an unsigned 32-bit integer. It's a good choice for a small positive number. You'll learn about other number types in chapter 3. Okay. The parse method will only work on characters that can logically can be converted to numbers, so can easily cause errors. Well, yep. Let's run the program now. Nice. Cool. Allowing multiple guesses in a loop. Look at us. I'm building a game over here too, Artwork Studio. Nice. Look at us. We're doing big things. Just our daily work. We do just dates, names, status, comments. I think as Ray, I think an Excel sheet's plenty fine. I can't imagine an Excel sheet's terribly heavy if all it's capturing is simple data points like that. Why do people say Rust is hard to learn, especially to newbies? To me, it's just the syntax is different, and the borrowing, the ownership approach to memory management is different. I don't know if it's that it's hard to learn. It's just foreign if you're coming from other languages, right? It just feels different. Also, Steven is using ChatGPT to do stuff like advanced logic and code while you focus on more creative aspects of programming vibe coding. I don't know what you call that. I don't know if you call that like AI driven development or agentic development. I'm not sure what you want to call that. I think it's just kind of like AI assisted coding. I think vibe coding is like largely a tech Twitter thing that people started saying because it sounds fun, and then people started using it sort of as a derogatory statement towards people, and then some people started claiming it as like a positive thing. I think what you would call that is just you're using AI to help you code. That's what I think you call it. Hey, what's up, Kels? Good morning. Love you, honey. Wow, that chat box is fancy. You like that? I've spent a little bit of time trying to make the stream better. Also, why are you on the YouTubes, honey? I thought you were a Twitch girl. I mean, you can hang out both places too. It's totally fine. Yeah, that's what Bob said, Danny, is what I agree with too. Borrowing, ownership, immutability are things other languages don't force you to think about. I think mutability is one that I think is present in most languages, but the borrowing and the ownership is the piece that's interesting. Um, that's the piece that I think is the most interesting. I love the fact that immutability is default in Rust. I think you should. I think programming and always going for immutable things is the way to go. I think your code will be far simpler, and it'll be far more easily. It'll be much easier to reason about your code if you are using immutability by default. AI assisted sounds appropriate. Vibe coding was coined to mean where you never actually look at the code, only the result. AI does 100% of the code. Yeah, vibe coding is like, if you took my brother and sat him in front of a computer and were like, hey, build some software, right? That would be vibe coding. Because he wouldn't know, even if AI showed him the code, he wouldn't even know what it means or how to modify it. See you, Arc Studios. Have a good day, man. So what makes it faster than other languages? I don't honestly know. I mean, I know it compiles to it's compiled, right? So it's compiled to native code. There's no IL, right? Like in C#.NET world, there's no intermediate language. It's just straight compiled to native binaries that you can run on your machine. So I'm sure that helps with making things a lot faster. But I'm sure there's other things about the language that I don't know about. I'm a noob, man. I'm a Rust noob. But Bob isn't. Bob knows. Kelsey, the chat box is risky. I could type anything. You could type anything, honey. I think you're letting your intrusive thoughts win on this one. All right, the loop keyword creates an infinite loop. We'll add a loop to give users more chances at guessing the number. Cool. So let's loop over this. So we'll say loop. All right, so we'll do so we want to do print you win, and then we want to break. UL, okay, never mind. Bob's got it. Okay, handling invalid input. To further refine the game's behavior, rather than crashing the program when the user inputs a non-number, let's make the game ignore a non-number so the user can continue guessing. So we can do that by altering the line where guess is converted from a string to a uint32. Okay. So here, instead of just asserting that it's always a number, we can match against it. So we can say match, and then we'll do okay, num, and we'll just return the number, and then we'll do error. It's interesting, this is actually so we were building an application, now we're going back to learning in a simpler thing, and now that I've gone from building an application to learning in a simpler context, it's like now some of the syntax that I was typing while building that application is like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Oh, yes, now So it's you do learn. Either approach does allow you to learn a programming language, but when you're learning a language without a formal structure and no one's like kind of serving up the concepts in sort of a predefined way, it definitely feels a little bit more like you're flailing around, if that makes sense. It feels like you can't grasp on to the edge of the pool at times. That's how it feels. Okay, let's play our game. So we dash 7 or 8, it says too small. We can do 9, too small. 7, too small. And then if we guess 88, we win. Wonderful. Okay. And then we just need to get rid of, we don't want to display the answer. All right, what did we do today on stream? We built a guessing game. Hell yeah. Max Dev Mastery reverse learning. It is. It's like reverse learning. Yesterday I described it as pull versus push. Where like push education is like somebody has spent a lot of time thinking about how to present the information, is kind of shoving it down to you. And then pull-based learning is more if you have an idea for something and imagine like your teacher, instead of someone lecturing, your professor standing next to you, and every time you don't understand something, you turn and you ask a question. So you're like pulling the information. I think oftentimes pulling the information feels a little bit more chaotic and a little bit more like you're flailing than if you follow a tutorial. And I think you need a little bit of both, right? You need a little bit of both of them, right? Because the pull method is what leads you to find out what it is you don't know. But sometimes that leads you to learn things in a very unordered, unstructured manner. and so you don't have all the prerequisites to understand everything quite right. So there's probably a happy medium. Exactly what Bob just said it better than I said it. Bob's description was far more elegant than mine. It's like you need a balance of push and pull so you don't imbalance your muscles and mess up your joints. I mean brain. It's exactly the same. It's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. All right, so we built a game. Let's see, do 8, 10, 11, 39. I wonder how many guesses it would take us to actually get the right answer. We could do, let's see, what's the optimal way to solve this? You go 50, that's too small. You do 75. Oh, 75 was the answer. So the most optimal way to solve this, right, is to cut it in half. So you say 50, and then you do 25. And, that's too big, so you say middle again, 12. And so you say, what's the middle of 12 and 25? 17, roughly? Too small, so then again, 20, too small, too big. Yeah, we won. You just keep dividing the problem in half. Yeah, divide and conquer. That's right, yeah. Binary search. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. All right. Okay, common programming concept. This chapter covers concepts that appear in almost every programming language and how they work in Rust. This might be kind of interesting as somebody who knows how to program. This might be kind of an interesting section. Variables and mutabilities. As mentioned, actually, hold on. Actually, before we do this, I think actually let's hack on our application a little bit. I'm kind of in the, now that we've been streaming for a little bit, I'm kind of in the mood to spend a little bit of time on the Notepad app. I'm gonna go get another cup of coffee, and then we'll spend the last hour or so hacking on the Notepad app. Hey Bob, also thanks for the recommendation on the keys.mvim plugin. That plugin's awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, I also need to set up the other plugin you guys recommended to me, the trouble.mvim. I still need to set that one up. I don't have that one set up yet. Yeah. That was a good recommendation. BRB. All right, I'll be right back. I have a dentist appointment today, too. I forgot about that. No bueno. All right, I'll be right back. I'm back. See you, Max Dev Mastery. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, he's back. Hey, Gun. Good to see you. Oh no, my BRB sign got all screwed up too. Oh goodness, what's happening? Is my window too small? Yeah, my window's too small. There you go. Okay, we're back. All right, so I think today what we'll try to do with the application is we'll try to finish what we were doing yesterday, which is we were trying to add the ability to save a file. Or basically, we were trying to add the ability to keep track of the file that we're currently editing and then save that file that we're currently editing. Because we had save as, but we didn't have save. And I think where we left off was we were adding this file, we were turning the file path into an option. It was a string before, and we were turning it into an option. And so there's some stuff that we need to do to fix that. Okay, so what we'll do here is we will match. We will do, hold on. Shut up, Copilot. Silencio! Silencio, I command you. Let's see. We will match on the math. The path. So we'll say state. Hold on. Is that what we want to do? Oh, no, this isn't right. We want to just assign it. So we have to wrap this in sum, right? Yep. Now the action is complaining because we don't have one for. Okay, so save is going to do the same thing as save file as. So we're going to do function save file. We're going to say give me a path that is optionally a path buff. Like that. And then give me the text to save. Then we're going to do something. So essentially what we need to do is whenever we attempt to save the file, we need to figure out if it's a new file or an existing file. If it's an existing file, then we already have the path. If it's a brand new file, we don't have the path, which means we need to prompt the user to select the path. So we basically have to delegate to the so it makes me wonder if there's some way we can consolidate this logic. I'm sure there's a way we can consolidate this logic, but I'll just re-implement it, and then we can figure out how we can refactor it. So we have this save file as, and then what we want to do is we want to say if path equals none, right? We want to do something different. could we do this? Could we say let path to save path is going to be a match on path, and then we'll fill in the arms. And so then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, the save path is going to be if there is something there, we'll just return that, right? If there's not something there, that's when we need to get one. So that's when we'll basically do this. Well, the auto formatting doesn't work because there's an error somewhere. Why isn't this happy? I can't figure out why this. Also, why is this not being used? But match. Why isn't that working? There we go. I keep forgetting that I have to write the file out for the analyzer to update with information. And that's where we're going to get this. Match arms have incompatible types. Expected path buff found. So is there like an empty path buff I can return? Oh, this should return path, shouldn't it? Okay, so if they don't select a file, what happens? Like if they cancel the file picker? I guess we just return. I mean, if they don't pick anything, like we just want to halt the action. Can I just like exit? I guess not. This is because this is a. I'm gonna write this out in pseudocode so I can make clear what I want. So what I want is the path will be none if new file. The path will be some if existing file. if the path is none, we want to if the path is none, we want to prompt the user to select the file. Or select the location, I guess. We want to prompt the user to provide the path. So the question is, how do I do that in a succinct way? So let's do it in a non-succinct way. Let's say if path equals none, cannot assign to mutable. Okay, so then let's declare a mutable one. So we'll say let mut save path equals path. And then if after that, if save path is still none, we'll just return. Borrow a move path value borrowed here after move. So we have to do .clone. Or could we just have a reference? No, so we have to clone it. Clone. Like this. Now everyone's happy. Okay, so if we're at this point, we'll just return. We'll say, okay, fine. You don't want to. I guess you don't want to save your file. But if you do, then we should have a path here, which means then we should be able to call a file save file to disk, and we should be able to pass in our path and our text, or sorry, our save path. Now, why are you unhappy? So you're unhappy because this should be path buff but found enum. Okay, so why does this not discriminate? So if I check if save path is an option, okay, so then I guess we need to match. So we need to say match save path. I'm surprised. I would like an answer to that question. Let's see. If I am in Rust, because it's mut and something could change it. So you're saying between these two lines, the Rust, I don't know, it's the borrow checker, the compiler, you're saying Rust at this point says something could happen here, right? That's basically what we're saying. So we can use a match though, because a match guarantees a single operation. Sorry, hold on. Also, that was the wrong. You're saying between here, something could have changed it. I see. Yeah, you need to match on the option completely, and the compiler doesn't discriminate in terms of ownership. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then I need to do match save path, and then fill in the arms of the match. Take that, stick it up here. And then this is just going to be return. Why? Hold on. You're still unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Mismatch type. Expected struct path buff found enum option path buff. Am I not matching correctly? Need to replace. Oh, yep. You are right. That makes, so this is all making more and more sense now. Every time I do this now, I'm seeing kind of the pattern, right? So yeah, so you call match on save path, which guarantees you some. I'm guessing this guarantees some sort of atomic read, right? So I don't have to worry about things changing save path at this moment. And then based on the evaluation, if the evaluation gives me a value, then P here is that value that I got. Otherwise, you end up down here. And so then within the scope of this arm, we have to reference the value by P and not by save path. That makes sense. Okay, I don't know if that's the cleanest code that anyone's ever written, but I think it'll work. So then let's go back down here to our update.
Did we just become best friends?
Anides, I think is how you say your name. Thank you very much for following the channel over on Twitch. We have very few people on Twitch, but every single one we get, we are very appreciative of them. Let's see, and then we're gonna do, this actually has to have multiple things. This also needs to return the path. So we need to so theoretically, this is kind of not, I don't think this is the best code anyone's ever written, but basically what's happening is the save file method is taking in the state, the path that's on the state, and that path might not have a value, right? So we're going to get a value in the save file function. So we need to propagate the path that the user selected, assuming it was a new file, back to the update method so we can actually put that path on the state. So that's why this needs to also return an option path buff like this. And then this is going to complain now, but we should be able to fix that by saying return P. No, not return P. I guess return save path. Or I guess we could return a result. I don't know what the right. I guess a result probably is the better option here. Maybe. Enum takes two generics. Didn't you tell me Bob, can I put something over here like that? Something there's somehow I can like ignore this, right? How do I do that? How do I return a result? In return types, you have to specify the type params. Yeah, result, then you have to unwrap it. So, let's see. How to specify a result. Return. Okay, so but what if I just want like a generic error, right? Like it's not really an error, but I don't want to return like So like, for example, in this case, I want to return the path if I have it, but if they don't give me a path, I just want to return nothing. So like this would be, I guess this would be okay. Another pain point of Rust, generic errors. No, you want a result because it's a monad and predictable. Okay, so yeah, so I think the result is good, but I'm not sure how to properly type this thing over here. So you say you want, okay, so we do want an option then? Okay. Which I think then means we probably just want to return the path. How do I return nothing? Or how do I do nothing in a match arm? Like that? Use of partially moved save path. Partial move because value has type, which does not implement. So do I clone it? Partially moved. Huh. So maybe I do want to do this. It's interesting. I'm finding that there's kind of a way you're supposed to write this stuff, huh? So this would be return sum p. And this would just be return none. What is the analyzer asking me to do? It's because I'm not using semicolons, I think. Use of mood value p. Let's see, let us say s. Lot of cloning happening here. Oops. There we go. I think I got it, but I think this is so ugly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why this looks so ugly, but I think it'll work. Borrow a mood value p. Are you sure? clone your P. To do nothing on none, do that. Okay. So the issue, now Rust looks like that, looking like a snack. Now Rust looks like. See, the issue, I think, save file to disk takes a path buff, meaning it takes ownership of whatever you pass in. Yes, okay. You either have to clone P or change the function to take reference a path and do ampersand P. Like this. Okay, hold on. So if I do that, then I do SP, then I return P. Does that work? Yeah, okay, so I think I see what you were saying. Okay, I think I followed what you were saying. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I think I figured out what you were trying to tell me. It took slow Steven a minute to figure out what you were telling me, Bob. I think I figured it out. Okay, which means now what we can do is we can say state dot file path state dot file path equals save file, and we can pass in state dot file path, and we can pass in state dot content dot text. Okay, so why can't we do that? Cannot move out of state.file path, which is behind a mutable reference. Move occurs because it has type option buff, which does not implement the copy trait. Consider cloning the value if the performance cost is acceptable. So I think this can actually, this would be okay if this took a reference. But then I don't know how to compare. So maybe that's not the right move. So we have state.file path. So I guess we could call clone. Yeah, there's a lot of cloning, and I'm guessing cloning is an anti-pattern in Rust. I don't know if it is, but I'm guessing you're not supposed to just constantly be reallocating. I'm guessing that's not the right way to do performance. Quick fix. Yeah, I was gonna say, not in the base function, I think. What is your font, sir? I use Cascadia. If you type !font in the chat, you'll get a link back to preview the font and reference it by name and everything. It's called Cascadia Cove. You should use Move, I believe. Huh. Well, I have to. I'm gonna see if this works, and then we can come back and maybe make it better. Let's see. So were we able to successfully implement the save function? That's the question. Well, the app built. That's good. The other thing I want to add is I want to add zoom functionality. Right now, my app doesn't zoom. I wonder how I make it support zooming. All right, so let's open Stream format thoughts. Okay. So this seems good. Hello world. We have a path, right? So if you look down here, we have a path. It's kind of small on your guys' screen. So we should be able to click save. And I think it saved successfully. I probably should have some sort of visual indicator that indicates that it was saved. So we should probably add something like that. So let's try to delete all this, and then let's try to load the file again, and we'll see if it worked. Hey, it worked. Let's go. Looky there. Okay, and then let's try a new file. So let's oh, that's probably an action we need, is like new file, huh? Yeah, we should probably add that action. Oh, we're still logging that we saved the file successfully. Anides? Yeah, exclamation point font Anides. Hold on, I can do it for you. Like this, exclamation point font. Or exclamation point nerd font. We'll get you the link. Here you go, man. It's a nice font. I've tried a bunch of different other fonts, and I'm stuck on this one at the moment. I've been stuck on it for like 2 years now. Open, save as. Oh yeah, we want to try to see if we can save. So if I do good morning chat, we are learning Rust today. It has actually not been so frustrating. I think it is because I've had more sleep and more caffeine than yesterday. Okay, so then if I wanted to save this, we also need to add keyboard actions. Like I'd like to be able to do Control S to save this, but we need to do File, Save. And so since we don't have a path, it should ask me to pick one. And if I do cancel, nothing happens. Okay, nothing, that's good. And if I do save again, now we should be able to say message for chat. And we want to call it txt. Should be able to save it. And then let's say we want to load that file up again. Hey, look at this. This is awesome, man. We have actually a working thing. This is fun. All right, this is a lot of fun. I mean, I think this application would be fun to build whether we were using Rust or not, but it's fun. Fantastic. Yeah, nice. Speaking of fonts, I wonder if Iced will let us put custom fonts in here. That'd be pretty cool to add my Cascadia Cove font to it. Let's see, Iced, Rust, documentation, latest release, fonts. Nope, that's the wrong search box. I've done that like 10 times now. That's the wrong search box. We want to search here. Fonts. The fonts to load. Okay, so you can load fonts. So this is a setting. And how does this get used? I wish there was like a, let's see, source. I wonder how you use that. I'm guessing it has something to do with the entry point of our application. So our entry point of our application is now here. And that has a boot function, it has an update function. Does it have like a fonts method on it? It does. Okay, cool. So then how do I define a font to use? So a font is some sort of bytes, maybe? Let's see. Let's do a quick, we'll do some Google foo. Load custom font into iced application. Like so, let's see. We need a .ttf file, path relative to the crate root. Ooh, this is pretty easy. Okay. So I know exactly where I can go and get the fonts because I've used them in a project recently. I've used them in a couple projects recently. Speaking of fonts, so we just need the TTF font format. So assets, fonts, we want TTF. TTF. Do I not have TTF? I guess I don't have TTF. How to create TTF font version? So I need TTF or OTF. Font Forge, okay. No, I do not want. I don't want to create one from net new. I want to like convert. Like convert font to TTF. Okay, let's try this. So we'll take, I guess, SVG. Let's download the SVG version of this. Download raw file. We'll save that there. SVG to TTF. Take this. Hopefully this works. I don't know how else you'd convert these. I'm guessing there's probably a library or a package out there somewhere that does it. Save. Okay. And then let's move that file from, I guess let's make a directory in the source, maybe? Should we make it in the source or should it be at the root? I guess I'm going to do it in the source. So we'll do make dir fonts, and then we'll say cd into fonts, and then we want to move from my desktop in the desktop, OneDrive desktop, and we're going to move the Cascadia TTF font to here. Yep. Okay, so then we'll go back. Let's see if Google's right. So what we want to do is we want an include bytes. And then we want to say, give me the bytes that are at this location, which I don't actually, let's see. Let's do cat c to copy path fonts. This is one of my favorite utility functions that I added to my PowerShell profile. I use it all the time. Copy path. I love it. It's so handy. Okay. Obviously, we got to deal with the fact that Windows likes to use path separators. So we'll do, let's see, we'll do, what is it? Douche. these, replace all the forward slashes. How do you do search and replace? I forget. Neovim, search and replace. %s. %s. We want to replace that with Neovim. Search and replace all backslashes with forward slash. %s G. That did not work. Screw it. I do it the old-fashioned way. Fine, I'll do it myself. I know that was a skill issue, okay? I know. I'm just impatient. I want to see if this works. Alright, let's try to run it now. Let's see if our font changes. Cargo, run. Because you had to pull back. You want it on everything until the end of the line. %thing stuff G. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Okay, so I don't think our font changed. So that doesn't look... Is there some other thing that I need to do? Oh, also, I don't want the full path. I just want this path. Okay, it did not change the font. So I wonder if it didn't convert it correctly. Something. My application, update, okay, define a font constant. My custom font with name, your font name. The name your font must match the internal name of the font file itself. Apply the font to widget. Use the font method on text. Ooh, that's what I'm missing. Define a font constant. Okay. Copy. Define a font constant. So it's probably getting compiled correctly, but not used correctly. So we'll go up here and let's define. Crap, I didn't copy that. Okay, so this is going to be the same name as CD fonts. Then we want to do cat Cascadia. Yeah, it's not a very good name. Probably should rename that file. So do I have to? I wonder if I have to have TTF at the end of it. Your font name must match the internal name of the font file itself. So what is the internal name of the font file? I guess we'll just see what it is. We'll see if that works. Hopefully it'll error if it doesn't work. Yeah, that's fine. We can leave it as custom font for now. And so it's saying we need to use it as the font on the different widgets. So, for example, pick list, does this have a font? And we say my custom font. We can't like globally apply this. This seems weird, don't you think? Seems like we should be able to globally apply that somehow. I mean, imagine if you had tons of widgets and you were building a really complex piece of UI. There's no way they'd make... Alright, let's try to run this again. I know I've run out of... I know it's 7 o'clock and I know I need to wrap up, but I want to see if I can get this working. Okay, so that didn't change anything. Did it change anything with the editor? Nope. Which means we're likely not using the right name, if I had to guess. Right, this is probably not the right name. I'm guessing the right name is whatever shows up when you install the font on your machine. Let's see, appearance. I'm guessing it's something like this, Cascadia Nerd Font Mono or something. Cascadia Nerd Font Mono. Let's try that. Is this Rust now? Yeah, Brandon, this is Rust. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you, man. Yeah, it's Rust. We've been experimenting building a notepad application. Hey, look, it worked. Oh, now my notepad app has my own custom font. Let's fucking go. That's fucking baller. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to figure out how to globally apply that. There's got to be a way to globally apply it. Set as default. Yep. Okay, this is what I want. Settings. Functions to override the default settings. No, that's not what I want. That looks like an older bit of code. That doesn't look like how the library is set up to work now. So let's see, does it have like a settings? Settings. Okay. So maybe that code snippet they did show me is helpful. So we can do default font, set it to custom font. Then we can say include the fonts in the fonts. Okay, so let's say we're going to have a new thing here. Settings. Oops. And we just want to overwrite the default fonts. So this would be custom font. And then we spread in the other. I think that worked. Now we need to find all the calls to font that we don't need anymore. So this one we don't need. This one we don't need. Dude, this is baller. This is probably the most excited thing I've done on this application. Or it's the thing I'm most excited that I've done on this application. I love it. Yeah, this is gonna be my own personal notepad application. I love this. And then before long, we'll get some markdown going in here. We'll be able to write Rust in Zoe, I think is the name of the application. I don't know how you actually say that word. Let's see if SpeakerBot can say it. Programming is so much fun. Building stuff is so much fun. I don't care. I don't care what AI. I've said this before. I've made tons of shorts where I've said this. I do not care if AI comes for all professional programmers. I'm never giving it up as a hobby. Ever. Ever. You'll have to pry it from my cold dead fingers. Let's see what this sounds like.
Good morning, chat. I am building Zoe to learn about Rust.
Zoe.
Good morning, chat. I am building Zoe to learn about
Zoe.
Rust.
I think it's like Zoe. Zoe, I think is how you pronounce it, actually. It just means baby crab is what it means. All right. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so you know what that means. Time to take off my YouTuber costume and put on my real life costume. Well, chat, is there anything you guys want to catch up on before we close the bridge, as it were? Bob Knoll, just watch out for a man named Robinson Oswald Booth. Yeah, true that. Most free fonts come with TTF and OTF files. Oh, I wonder if I just deleted the TTF file. I'll bet I just deleted it when I used it for that web project. I bet I deleted it. I bet if I go to Nerd Fonts, it's already there, isn't it? So that was an unnecessary step on my part, wasn't it? Let's see. I don't like how the Zen browser handles downloads, though. I will say that. Yep, it's already there. Yeah, it's already there. That's funny. So I wonder if I want to render Markdown and I want to use Cascadia Nerd font as the font for my Markdown. I wonder if I'll need to load all these in to be able to get the right styling when I render the Markdown. I might keep these around, actually. Let's just leave those on the desktop for now. I'm going to keep those around. Okay. Sock Pasta Rock. Good morning, Sock Pasta Rock. What do you do for real life? Obviously software dev, but what type of software? Yeah, so the software that my company builds is called Governance Risk Income, or the software that my company builds is called OnSpring, but it's basically a no-code, low-code platform to help companies facilitate just about any business process. But particularly our company is kind of oriented towards selling into governance, risk, and compliance use cases. So think like audits, SOC 2 compliance, GDPR compliance. Like if you have any type of thing that you need to show that you're actively managing to some government regulations or set of controls or whatever, but you can really use the software to do anything. Like it's kind of like Excel on steroids. If you're familiar with like Salesforce or ServiceNow or any of those kind of platforms like that, it's highly customizable, highly configurable. And also if you type !LinkedIn in the chat, you'll get my LinkedIn profile. I'm happy to connect with you guys over there. I'm a
Did we
pretty
just
open.
become best friends?
Hey, thanks CA Rep for following. I appreciate that. Actually, we have a new YouTube member too. I need to update the YouTube member list. We had a new. That was the first time I think we've had a member, or maybe one of the first times we've had a member join during. Hey, I just opened up YouTube Studio. Look at this. While we were streaming today. Hold on, I gotta show you guys. Look what we did today. Look at that. Let's go. We crossed 10K. Thank you guys. If you're one of those 10,000, thank you very much. That's pretty fucking baller. My kids will think that's cool. Maybe if I can add another 0, they'll call me a real YouTuber. That's pretty cool. Thank you guys. If you're one of them subs, I really appreciate it. 10,004. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I don't pay attention to the numbers terribly much, but that seems pretty wild to me, you know. As somebody who had 21 subs a year ago, I had 21 subs on this channel a year ago. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys giving my content any amount of attention, let alone a subscribe us being a subscriber. So thank you very much. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna update our member list really quick that we show on screen. It has to be done manually, unfortunately. So I have to download a new version of the list. And then I have to go over to my command line. And then I have to go to update lists. And then I have to do .NET YouTube. Sorry, YouTube, yeah. .NET YouTube CS. And now our list is up to date. Oh, and then I also have to reload it in Meld Studio. All right. Kavanze. I am not building anything right now. Or I guess I was building. I'm not building anything right now. I have to actually get off and go to work because I've got about an hour till I need to start work. But what I was building is I'm building a kind of a notepad-like application in Rust. So the idea is eventually we'll be able to kind of do all the normal file operations thing that you can do in Notepad. And then the one thing that I really want that Notepad sort of has support for it, but I want the ability to be able to preview Markdown, right? So like if I'm typing Markdown over here, I want to be able to say, here's some JavaScript. Maybe we can also get some syntax highlighting in here. Maybe, I don't know. But I'd like to be able to maybe do like Control P, right? Or Control Shift V or something to be able to display this as a Markdown document with all the proper formatting and stuff. So that's the thing that I want to add that Notepad sort of kind of has, but not really. I think you can show that somehow. I'm not sure exactly how. But yeah, that's what we've been building. And then we've also been just like learning Rust in general. That's the whole reason to build this application was so that we could learn Rust. Push your crab pad. Oh, yep, good idea. Yep, that's a good idea. Git add git commit feature added What did we add today? We added saving existing file or new file. Yeah, I guess I have to push the fonts up too, don't I? There you go. That's pushed. Added saving Private Ryan. Yeah. No, nothing like that. Sock pasta rock. Uncle P, we no work today. No, I do have work today. I'm delaying getting going. I need to go, but I'm putting it off. But yeah, we have work today. I'll see you at 100K in a year, dude. That would be crazy, Bob. 100K by next Christmas? I don't know. I pretty much I'm happy now. My YouTube career is made. I have reached 10,000 subs on a YouTube channel. I feel like that's anything above that. I mean, anything above 21 was icing on the cake, but that's pretty cool. Oh, I appreciate it a lot, guys. All right, y'all. I'm gonna head off. It is Friday, so we did make it to the end of the week, and I hope you all have a lovely Friday. If it's already Saturday for you, I hope you guys have a lovely Friday. Or lovely Saturday. Sorry, lovely Saturday. Time zones are weird. Good stream. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Bob. All right, I'll do my normal wrap up. If you're new here and you want to hang out with us outside of the stream, the best place to find us is our Discord. I'll drop the link in the chat just so you have it. It's really easy to remember. It's just discord.stephenfreeborn.com. If you would like to come back and hang out on another live stream, the best place to find us is in the mornings on YouTube or Twitch from 4:15 to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you like the vertical format, YouTube's vertical format stream is free. I do stream horizontally on YouTube, but it's a members only stream. But there is a horizontal stream on Twitch. So if you prefer horizontal and you don't want to become a member here on YouTube, just go over to Twitch and you can see all the same stuff there in horizontal mode. What else? I think that's it. That's normal. That's my normal housekeeping. All right. Bye, Duck Boy. Bye, Bob. Bye, Uncle Pee-wee. See you, Sock Pasta Rock. Con Faison. See you later. Thanks for sticking around and hanging out. Thanks for the congratulations. Kurt Kennedy, appreciate all your help with the rest, man. You and Bob both. Appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for being so patient and helpful. That's really nice. Very kind to have you all around. Brandon Nelson, if you're still here, have a good day, man. Anybody on Twitch? I don't think anyone's over on Twitch, but if you are on Twitch, I'll see you. All right. Bye, chat. Bye. See you guys. Have a good day. Thanks for hanging out.